Welcome to Rituals and Conversations, a space where we explore the rituals that shape our lives, our work, and the way we show up for the people around us. Today, I'm joined by Joanna Perry, founder of Moon and June, a beautiful alcohol-free aperitif brand born from a desire to slow down and bring more intention to how we gather, celebrate, and unwind. Joanna's journey spans from banking to a startup founder, navigating motherhood, entrepreneurship, and a deep appreciation for simple rituals. From shared evenings around the table to quiet moments. In this episode, we talk about building a business alongside motherhood, the rituals that ground her as a founder, and how Moon and June is redefining the way we think about connection and celebration. So let's begin. Welcome, Joanna. Moon and June is such a poetic name. What does it represent for you, and how does it capture the philosophy behind the brand?
Hi, Minal. Thanks so much for having me. I'm so honored to be here and to talk to you this morning. I really appreciate what you're doing, and I think we stand together for so many values. So yes, I'm really excited. So Moon and June, I spent name for my brand, and with right name, I mean something that would capture more the atmosphere, the philosophy, and kind of the more poetic side to what I'm trying to do. So I credit Moon and June to the lyrics of the song by Johnny Mitchell. That is one of my favorite musicians, and she sings in the song Both Sides Now. She kind of compares and contrasts two different energies. And the kind of lighthearted, summer-like, holiday-like energy, she describes it as moons and Junes and Ferris wheels. So I wanted to take a little bit of that wording and that inspiration and create my brand around that.
Ritual, without alcohol, because normally we celebrate using alcohol, and you've created something without.
Yes. So I think we are creatures of habit, and that can be both beautiful and self-destructive, depending on what those habits are. So I think we're living in interesting times where we get to rediscover and challenge a little bit the habits that we've seen around us throughout our lives growing up. And we've seen it with obviously cigarettes or sugar, or now I think there's more and more discussion about the phone usage or social media. And I think alcohol is one of those topics where you kind of grow up seeing it around you. I mean, obviously depending on the culture, but at least in Europe, that's so deeply ingrained. But at the same time, you hear more and more, all the way from celebrities to everyday folk, or like regular people, speaking more and more loudly and openly about the fact that they don't feel good with those rituals and those celebrations centered around alcohol. So I think what I'm trying to do here is to recreate that feeling of an end of day pause, because I think we all need it, We all need that moment of, we've made it through the day, to look at that moment with kind of a fresh eye, and have a lovely, complex, slightly bitter drink that you can slowly sip. Like for me, that was always important, to recreate that feeling of like cherishing that moment and drinking something intentionally and slowly. And I know that the flavor that I have really resonates with so many people who want that ritual. But at the same time, I think our lives are complicated and complex enough that we don't want to add another complexity of waking up with a headache or not feeling our best. So my wish is to sustain the ritual of a gathering, or just kind of meeting ourselves at the end of the day, but with a different option that is better for us long term.
Yeah, I absolutely love it, because I've been alcohol free for now 6 years, and
Mm-hmm.
I missed holding a glass of wine or an aperitif. Like, I love the way you add it with tonic water in the evenings.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks to Moon and June, I had my ritual without, I call it escaping life, because I feel like, for me
Yeah.
personally, and I cannot
Yeah.
speak at large, I'm not escaping life or sedating myself, but I
Mhm.
still have that feeling of having this delicious wine from the flavor perspective.
Mhm.
So thank you for creating something like that for us.
Thank you. That's very kind.
I know you've moved from a very demanding banking professional background into building a brand. And I know how hard building a startup is. So I'm not saying that it's not demanding, but moving from that into something that is rooted in mindfulness, well being, and conscious consumption, complete 180 opposite. of your previous life, right? So, what was that internal shift or life moment that led you to reimagine this path, which is full of uncertainty, but still rooted in mindfulness? It's an oxymoron, but yeah,
So I think in a way, even though it probably looks that way from the outside, like in a way it wasn't an internal shift because I think I moved from something that felt with time more and more misaligned and less of kind of my world and what I'd want to do in my life to something that is definitely aligned to my internal compass. And I think it was probably a shift in the sense of getting more self-awareness. And I also think there's something about like late 30s going into my 40s where I do feel the passing of time and I do feel, I'm much more kind of settled in my midlife years rather than just kind of running around and experimenting with stuff. So I think there was a need for me to change things up and to become more intentional about what I'm doing. Look, I think these are completely opposite energies, as you said, right? And I think for me, the lesson that I take is, I had a very successful career in banking. And I think, I went through different promotions and praises, and I've learned a lot of things that also help me right now with Moon and June. So I wouldn't in any way discount it. But I think the lesson for me that I kind of wish I knew sooner was that just because you're good at something doesn't mean it's the right thing for you.
it doesn't fill your heart up, right?
Yes.
The soul, light your soul up. So, yeah, I get that. I totally understand that. So, what are your small daily rituals that anchor you on a daily basis? Because I know you're a mother of a young baby, you're a
Yes.
wife, and you have a teenager as well. That's a
Hmm.
lot of balancing acts,
Yes.
and a founder, a startup founder. So, what are these specific moments that help you transition between all these multiple roles?
So nothing complicated, and I think nothing too surprising. I feel like, what helps me the most is actually go back to the basics. So mm, I think that I don't do it every day. I attempt to do it every day is going for a short walk without my phone. That is a game changer for me. I just kind of clear my head. I feel like when I take my phone with me and I'm outside, it's kind of I just change the surrounding, but I don't change the headspace that I'm in. So I think most important, I mean, I do try to meditate regularly. I do yoga. I'm much more regular these last 2 months since the new year. That was my resolution that I want to really get much stronger physically. So I'm doing much more strength training. All these things help. But for me personally, the biggest kind of ritual or segment in a day is I really try to limit my phone usage, especially at the end of the day. So, like last few hours of the day, I kind of put it away and forget about it. And then in the morning, because then I kind of feel like I sleep better and I also start my day without getting bombarded and reading the news and kind of feeling instantly hopeless, especially these days when you look at what's happening in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I resonate with all of that. I think it's this little things, right? Like you said, the simple things, and there's
Yeah.
power in that. I can also see you have like your color coded sticky notes up there. That's a very open and honest person right there. So I think that also is a nice ritual that you have over there.
That's really nice. And one thing that I have to say is quite new for me, I don't do it daily, but I try to do it regularly, is I started cold plunging. And
Oh,
that I have an amazing lady who is guiding a group for cold plunging in Zurich. And I don't know what it is, but like just going into cold water, cold lake for 2, 3 minutes, it just kind of resets something in me that I kind of start a new week fresh. So
wow.
that has been
That,
amazing. Really hard, but also amazing.
yeah, it's the hard things. Once we do them, then it becomes, I think that we can do more things then.
Yes. It's the hard and also like boring things, you know?
Yeah. It's the boring things and the hard things that build resilience, right?
Yes. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's the greatest thing, I think. So speaking of cold plunge, I don't know when I'll be releasing this episode, but I'm doing a collaboration with Katrina on Monday in Richtersville. So if you want to come, it's free. You
Oh,
will be
nice.
able to plunge with Katrina and then get to try Bliss Brew straight after the cold plunge.
Perfect. That sounds like a perfect combo.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. I'll send you the link. If you're interested, you can
Please.
come. And now, since Mood in June is rooted in rituals of aperitif and slowing down in the evening, what does an ideal evening look like in your home?
Kids are in bed by some reasonable time. I mean, that
When?
is already a very low maintenance. No, so ideally, I think you were mentioning these transitions before. So ideally, I would have a little bit of downtime. I think I'm still not great at resting. You know, I always find something to do, and as you know, with a project like your own brand, I mean, there's always something to do. Like you never kind of feel, or at least I never kind of feel like, oh, I've done enough. Like now it's end of the day. So I think the perfect evening for me is when I do give myself permission to chill out. It's screen free. So like rather analog. And again, nothing complicated. No, I just take a bath and read until I fall asleep and that's it. You know, like
Oh,
I'm
perfect.
yes, I
With a
think
glass of moon.
exactly, right? Yeah, I think having a moment when you can have a nice drink or a cup of tea or a cup of like brewed herbs or your lovely blend. I think having that pause is great. But I think it's also important to keep in mind that like wellness and those rituals, they don't need to be complicated.
Yeah,
Like I think that like simple things that have worked through generations, like they're great for us. So yeah, I think
yeah,
that
I
would be
agree. I love that. I love
my
that
ideal
winding down.
evening.
Yeah, I love that. Winding down with a nice bath with some Epsom salts,
Yes.
moon June in one hand.
Lovely. I
Sounds
should
perfect.
create a video of that for Instagram.
Yeah. And do you have, I know you've shared your ideal winding down evening, which I'm sure doesn't happen on a daily basis. So what
Mhm.
is your personal ritual that helps you close the day on a regular day, on an everyday basis?
So water is my element. Like whatever happens, I usually take a bath or have a super hot shower. I know it's probably not best for my skin, but I love it. So like super hot shower and I read every night. It really helps me to calm down. I've switched back and forth between Kindle and regular books. I still feel like regular books kind of calm me down more and I feel like I'm more focused when I'm reading those compared to Kindle or any kind of electronic reader. I snuggle my kids. The little one, she still co-sleeps with me. So
It's the best.
it's
The
just the best.
oxytocin is the best.
Yeah, I
I love
know.
that.
Yeah.
Snuggle the kid, read a book. I think these are the joys of life.
Yes, yes. And I
And
and I
alcohol
really
free. You're sleeping alcohol free.
yeah. And I think it's like also counting our blessings. And I mean, sometimes, you hear these people like, oh, practice gratitude and gratitude journal. And it's like, oh, please, but it actually works, right? So
I agree,
it makes
100%.
a huge difference. So I don't have any structure around it or it's nothing complicated, but I do try to remind myself in the evening, life is good. My to-do list might be full, but so is my heart.
Oh, love that. It's good that your to-do list is full because that just shows you're alive.
Yeah, that is true.
Well done. Thank you
That is
so
very
much,
true.
Joanna, for this conversation, and I wish
Well,
you a
thank
lot
you
of
all.
success because it is a delicious drink and it is definitely part of, if not my daily, but my weekly ritual. So I'd rather
Music.
share where they can purchase it.
Yes, thank you so much, Nal. I really appreciate it. I wish you a lovely day. Thank you.